a player with extreme versatility, a playmaker, eligible for the 2025 draft, sought after by NHL teams, Mr. NHL's insider information, Nathan Behm.
Chapter 1, The Beginning. If you want a shorter, more condensed video but less info on this player, click the video above you or the video that's linked below. Every hockey player has a story. Where they came from, what inspired them, and the moment they knew this game was their life. For Nathan Behm, that journey started in Calgary, Alberta, where hockey wasn't just a sport, it was a way of life. He grew up watching Johnny Gaudreau and all of the greats, but he just dreamt of stepping on and skating on the ice like them. But before he was wearing that jersey, before he was lighting up the WHL, he was just a kid with a stick, a dream, and an unstoppable drive to make that happen. Nathan was born and raised in Calgary. With long winters and rinks everywhere, it was almost impossible not to fall in love with the game. And for Nathan, that love started early. Growing up in Calgary, he went to the McKenzie Lake Outdoor Rink as he started to love hockey. It was nothing fancy, just a little patch of ice where Nathan could skate every winter. But for him, that rink might as well have been an NHL arena. You know that moment when a kid just gets hooked? Maybe it's watching their first NHL game. Maybe it's scoring their first goal. For Nathan, it was both. Like a lot of young players, Nathan idolized the best. He watched the NHL consistently, studying the way that pros moved, like Johnny Gaudreau, and the way that they handled the puck. And every time he saw a goal, you bet he was outside 5 minutes later trying to recreate it. And that was the thing about Nathan. He wasn't just watching hockey, he was studying it. Even as a kid, he wanted to understand the game to be better than every single time he stepped on the ice. By the time he was old enough for organized hockey, it was clear. This wasn't just a hobby. Nathan was serious. While other kids were just happy to be there, he wanted to win. He wanted to dominate. He had speed, he had skill, but most importantly, he had work ethic. Even as a little kid, he was the first one on the ice and the last one off. His coaches saw it right away. The drive, the dedication, it was different. Some kids play hockey for fun. Nathan played because he had the urge to. Like every young player, Nathan didn't do this alone. His parents were up early, driving him to practice before school, standing in freezing cold rinks, and cheering him on in the stands. They had sacrificed a lot. Money, time, weekends, all so their son could chase a dream that at the time seemed almost impossible. And Nathan never took that for granted. Every practice, every game, every extra drill, it was all for something bigger. But there's always that one moment. The one that tells a young player, yeah, I can really do this. For Nathan, this moment came when he got an opportunity with the Kamloops Blazers. That was it. That was the moment. That time had scouts raising their eyebrows. The game where people started whispering, hey, this kid might be something special. From that point on, hockey wasn't just a dream anymore. It was a goal, a real, tangible goal. And Nathan Behm was ready to chase it with everything. But getting noticed was just the first step. Making it, well, that was a whole different battle. And for Nathan Behm, the grind was only just beginning. Chapter 2, Becoming a Kamloops Star. Making it to junior hockey is a dream for thousands of young players across Canada and worldwide. But for Nathan Behm, it wasn't just about making it. It was about proving that he belonged. And when he stepped onto the ice for the Kamloops Blazers, he did exactly that. This is the next chapter of his journey, his rise to the WHL, the scouts taking notice, and the dream of the NHL becoming a real possibility. After dominating in minor hockey, it was clear that Nathan was ready for the next level. And when the Kamloops Blazers called his name in the WHL draft, it was official. He was stepping into one of the most competitive junior leagues in the world. For a kid who grew up in Calgary, playing for the Blazers was more than just a milestone. It was a dream come true. But signing the contract was the easy part. Now, he had to prove that he deserved that spot. Rookie camps are brutal. You're going up against guys just 2, sometimes 3 years older than you. Players who already have NHL teams watching them. And Nathan, he had no intention of just being another rookie. First game, first shift. This was the moment he had been working for since he laced up his skates at McKenzie Lake Outdoor Rink. He didn't waste it. It didn't take long for him to make an impact. His first goal, a beauty. And after that, the confidence just kept growing. Coaches started trusting him more. His ice time went up. He wasn't just another young player trying to find his place. He was becoming a key piece of the team. But the WHL isn't about skill. It's about consistency. And Nathan knew if he wanted to get to the next level, he had to bring his A game every single night. The WHL is one of the biggest pipelines to the NHL. If you perform, people notice. And by the middle of the first season, Nathan's name was already starting to come up in conversations about the next NHL draft. At first, he was projected as a late round pick, a skilled forward with good potential, but still had some work to do. But as the season went on, those rankings started to shift. Conversations started to emerge. He wasn't just keeping up, he was excelling. His playmaking, his vision, his ability to read the game. It was all starting to stand out. Chapter 3, the goal to the NHL. For being this massively talented player, why isn't he on many of those rankings? Why is he so underrated? Well, it wasn't just this. Nathan Behm had teammates on his line. Teammates that couldn't handle those passes that he passed. Teammates that couldn't just stuff it home. While Nathan was laying up almost perfect assists every single time, the teammates on his line just couldn't finish. But he also got trade talks from other NHL teams. And this is where the Mr. NHL insider information starts to dig in. First of all, he was contacted earlier in the season by the Pittsburgh Penguins GM, thinking more about what could happen if they drafted Nathan Behm. And just earlier, just a week ago, he got an unexpected call. The Florida Panthers GM. He had asked that he was interested. He had told Nathan that he was interested in him, and especially his prospect skills. Florida obviously had the concern of them not being able to get him in the draft. While he wasn't listed as being a first-round pick, things could change. And the Florida Panthers GM wanted to do this. They wanted to get Nathan on their team. And to do this, they need to employ certain aspects. They said they were going to try and go for another pick. They're going to try and strive for an earlier pick to try and get Nathan. This was major for him. One of Nathan's dreams was to play in the NHL. And now, to potentially be playing for the current Stanley Cup champions, as much as it pains me as an Oilers fan to say this, he wanted to go. He wanted to play in the NHL in one of the top leagues there ever was. And just to get that contact gave him a boost of confidence. Playing in the WHL seemed like a mere league at this point. With him being 2025 draft ready, there's one question on all of his family's minds. When and who will draft him? With Nathan Behm being such a promising prospect, who will draft him? Who will get him first? And the main question, will Florida be able to catch him in this year's draft? This was a major part of his NHL journey, and being contacted by this GM kind of gave him the boost of confidence that he wasn't just flying under the radar, that he wasn't just covered by a couple of videos on the internet showing how underrated of a prospect he was. While in past games, he got benched. He didn't understand why his coach was doing this to him. He wasn't the problem. He knew this, but he still remained humble. Now, still the many things. As a kid, he would write mantras on his basement walls, sticky notes posted everywhere, saying, "I am a leader. I'm going to score a goal." And his mom also helped up with this. He had these things, these sayings. He had this passion for hockey. And he felt like this dream was slowly becoming true. Chapter 4, Conclusion. For viewers watching, they're saying, how do I get all this information? Well, as an insider into Nathan Behm, into his career, and having someone that's from the inside, it's important to say these things out loud. It's important to see how big of a prospect he can really be. Now, he is a strong player, and he can elevate players on his line. He makes almost perfect assists every time. But a couple issues that he has. He needs to focus as a rookie. And he doesn't have chemistry with everyone, which is understandable. Sometimes people on his line, and it can be really, really frustrating as Behm is on the first line. It can be frustrating to have players that aren't able to finish your passes. It's like a situation where Behm needs to have better players that he can play with. And this journey can begin with him getting drafted. With him getting drafted to an NHL team in the 2025 NHL draft. With him also being invited to the NHL Combine in June. He needs to prove himself. He needs to show that he is not just your usual prospect. He is not just a person that you just draft and you trade. No. He needs to prove that he is a major part of any organization that wants to draft him. And how would he fit into certain teams like Florida or Pittsburgh? The Kamloops Blazers are known for their hardworking, honest, and two-way style of play, with different players excelling in both offensive and defensive areas. Hardworking and honest, the Blazers are known for their dedication and effort, playing a style that emphasizes hard work and a commitment to the team. Two-way play. Different kinds of players who are mobile and can be a two-way defenseman can exemplify the Blazers' ability to contribute both offensively and defensively. The offensive transitions. The Blazers are capable of transitioning the puck effectively, with different players able to beat forechecking pressure and carry the puck with confidence. They also emphasize defensive responsibilities, with different players taking pride in their ability to break up plays and contribute defensively. While on the other hand, the Florida Panthers have a completely different style of play. They play with finesse, hard-hitting, run-and-gun, and defense first are all that's in the repertoire. The Florida Panthers are different because they have a rough playing style. And for players like Nathan Behm to fit in this organization, it wouldn't be optimal. Nathan Behm plays more of a hardworking guy, playing as a get to the puck first, try to get in those puck battles, and try and make a good assist. Instead of going for those hits, he tries to play it like an honest player. While the Panthers is more of a stronger, more hard-hitting, more gritty team. But on the other hand, if Nathan Behm did eventually go to Pittsburgh, there are differences that could even help him. The Pittsburgh Penguins have almost like an older roster. The Pittsburgh Penguins play more of a structured, fast plays, and gritty style of play, focusing on a strong defensive foundation and a hard-working, team-oriented approach to both offense and defense. This could be very similar to how Nathan Behm already plays. And just for fun, what if we look at how the Edmonton Oilers would play and see how he fits in there? The Edmonton Oilers are a different team. They play more into a zone defense system, or almost as like a box plus one, which is a common system in the NHL. It's more of covering their own assigned zones, and the Edmonton Oilers are more of an older team. Players like Corey Perry and Adam Henrique certainly don't help that image of old. But the reason why the Oilers are still seen as a rush team is because of one man, and that man is Connor McDavid. Nathan Behm has not shown any or much interest at all for the Edmonton Oilers. But if that's a possibility, the Oilers could really use it in bringing youth and bringing speed and bringing confident play to their lineup. Nathan Behm could be a strong addition for the Edmonton Oilers and really any team who plays hard, honest, and gritty and tries to get those pucks first. While Nathan Behm is still a WHL player and still might not even be drafted in today's draft, being invited to the NHL Combine this year, being called by NHL GMs, it really shows confidence. It really shows interest in this player, in Nathan Behm. In my past video, breaking him down, I kind of related him to another famous face on the Edmonton Oilers, that being Connor McDavid. Now, there was a bit of slight retaliation against this, but is it really far from the truth? Behm is an assisting player. He is an absolute apple tree. He loves to try and assist people, try and set up people on his path. He tries to set up goal scoring, try to elevate the players on his line. Sometimes, can he play solid? Sometimes, can he try and go for the puck himself? This season, with 56 games played, he has 31 goals and 35 assists, having 66 points in 56 games played, which is a major step up from last year, with 68 games played with 12 goals and 19 assists. This season, the Kamloops Blazers might not even make it to the WHL playoffs. And if they don't, what will be Nathan Behm's first step? Well, he wants to continue refining, continue having this career ride that he has, continue to be on this hot streak, continue to impress NHL draft prospects, and continue to impress scouting reports. Currently, while Nathan Behm isn't really in a top 32 draft list, he's not really in anyone's major list. NHL GMs are still looking at him. They're still looking at him as a prospect watch. And he could legitimately be drafted by a major team in the first round. But one last major thing I should mention was that Nathan Behm was named one of the top prospects in a scouting report. He was a top prospect for the next draft. And in the scouting report, he was decided to be 36th ranked North American prospect. Daily Faceoff had Behm ranked in number 27, while Elite Prospects had him ranked differently. And especially, Daily Faceoff Stephen Ellis said that Behm has always been a decent goal scorer at every level, but he has found a way to put more muscle behind his shot while also getting better in defensive. While there are so many different situations, TSN's Craig Button listed Behm at number 36. This 6'2" forward has been getting a lot of attention from scouts around the league. One NHL scout told the reporter, his shot is exceptional. NHL caliber release. So will Nathan Behm get drafted this year? Or will he have to prove himself once again in the WHL?